Around the world, there are a plethora of medical topics that people don't take a particular interest in learning about. This can range from the trafficking of animals for medicine to vaccinations and incurable mental diseases. Research is still being done on these topics, but just because there are no confirmed results doesn't mean people don't need to know about them. Perhaps these topics will serve as an eye-opener and urge others to delve deeper into things they have little knowledge of. Pangolins are the only mammals in the world to be fully coated in scales, and they primarily feed on termites and ants with a long and sticky tongue. When encountering threats, they curl up into a ball. This makes them an easy target for poachers. People poach them because of huge demands in the medicinal market for their parts, causing them to be considered as the world's most trafficked mammal. China is suspected to be the biggest consumer for pangolin. Due to cultural beliefs, many believe pangolins should naturally be included in traditional medicine because of their strange appearance. Their keratin scales are thought to be the most valuable. They are roasted, dried, or ground up for medicine that supposedly cures many ailments like problems with lactation, acne, or even cancer. However, there is no scientific evidence to back that pangolin scales have any health benefits. But pangolin scales are not the only unusual things found in medicine.
Vaccines are very important in keeping communities healthy. They decrease susceptibility of communities to certain diseases. This immunity against certain diseases is created through an immune response. Vaccines use very unusual ingredients, such as preservatives, stabilizers, cell cultures, antibiotics, and more. Different types of vaccines have different ingredients and different functions. This includes live attenuated vaccines, inactivated vaccines, toxoid vaccines, and subunit vaccines. The anti-vaccination movement is a recent development where people are refusing to vaccinate themselves and/or their families. This causes epidemics of diseases that were controlled enough to be almost eradicated. Exposure to certain vaccines can decrease the chances of Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's disease is an irreversible progressive brain disorder that slowly destroys memory and thinking skills, and eventually the ability to carry out the simplest tasks. Doctors have discovered that people begin experiencing changes in the makeup of their brains years before any actual effects occur. Patients with AD develop abnormal deposits of proteins that form amyloid plaques and tangles throughout the brain. Once healthy neurons stop functioning, lose connections with other neurons, and die. Although Alzheimer's disease has become increasingly more common among aging people, a cure for those suffering from the illness has not been prioritized. Prioritizing a cure would improve the quality of life for many aging people around the globe. A number of studies have shown that individuals suffering from PTSD are more prone to acquiring Alzheimer's disease later in their lives.
Post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental disorder that can occur in people who have experienced or witnessed a traumatic event. It is very likely for most combat veterans to suffer from this psychological damage. The things that they go through and see is very traumatic and will affect their everyday life outside of the military. Most findings for treatment have been very inclusive, but there are many ways they do or do not manage it. Some deal with their PTSD by drinking their problems away, and others may seek help if they feel comfortable enough to. With PTSD, the symptoms of it can cause night terrors, fear of crowds, and negative thoughts.
From all the topics we have covered, it becomes evident that the medical field is very diverse. However, we are still making new discoveries and breakthroughs. What are you going to do to bring awareness to unexplored areas such as these?